Hi, it's Michelle, and I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. And today I wanted to kind of clear up why it might be so hard for you to make that change that you want to make. So, for instance, you want to stop snacking or eating in between meals. You finally want to eat in a healthy way, but something keeps pulling you back. And we might not always realize that in a way is emotional eating. When we're doing things and eating when we're not hungry, something else is pulling the strings. And it's usually an unmet need or some kind of emotional tie to the food, or it's our way of kind of distracting from how we're feeling, or distracting from something that's happened to us that might be too painful to process, or we might not even be aware that it's there because we've just had the same coping mechanism for a really long time. And so this happens to the best of us, and especially, I always say, I think to some degree we all have some kind of emotional eating, because food is nourishment, it's nourishing. It is, if you think about a baby being breastfed by a mother, the food means love, it means warmth, it's nourishment. It's so connected to feeling good in our lives, in our bodies. And so, of course, and also food gives us pleasure. So, of course, we have such an intimate relationship with it. And so I want to help you move through what might be happening when you can't, you're seeing these habits or seeing these patterns, you can't break out of it. And the reason you can't just stop it is because it is holding a really strong place in your life, preventing you from really moving into that, maybe that emotion, that hurt, that pain that it might, that it's helping you cope with. And this is the key word, it's helping you cope. There's no, that emotional issue or trauma or unresolved situation is still there and it's unresolved. And so the best way to get into that, into the root of that, is to work and process through it. And so with clients, what I do is I get them really aware of their triggers, what's happening around that situation, the way they're eating, and into how they're feeling. And then when they work with me privately, we go through a somatic meditation where we go deeper into the layers of what might be happening. Because even when we're so aware of the triggers and what's happening, the emotions, if they're not processed and move through our body, accepted, if we don't feel like we're heard and we don't express that whatever was happening for us, then it's still trapped in our body. It's unprocessed. And so we really need to process through it, and then we can look at it with fresh eyes and create a pattern that we want. So I'll give you an example. I've worked with clients, and this one example is, and I actually, with all the clients, they are aware of the pattern they have, and they are aware of what they want to do, how they want to change. But for some reason, whenever they try to do the change, they can't get out of this pattern. And so they almost have the solution, but they need to move through the emotion in order to install this new way of being and this new pattern, because they'll figure out what that coping mechanism, what is the true need under it. So the true need under it is usually to just feel the emotion, process the pattern, and realize that you're not there anymore, and to integrate it. And that's what integration really is. When we move through the emotion, we become aware of it and we integrate it into our day-to-day lives. It's no longer something we're pushing to the side, separating us into two. When we integrate it and bring it into us, we become one, and we create that more wholeness, because we always have our different triggers we're working on. So to kind of sum it up, when you're trying to change something and something keeps getting in the way, you're stuck, there's a block, there's usually a coping mechanism in place that's covering up an unresolved issue in your life. And so what you need to do is to become aware of it. Yes, that's step one, and then process through that emotion. If you're not, used to processing through your emotions or going deeper, support is always a great idea, someone to walk you through it, and to also hold that compassionate space for you to really move through those emotions. And when you do, part of that process is finding out what the true need underneath that was, that the food or the snacking or the whatever place that's holding, there's like a deeper need, or it's just kind of preventing you from feeling that emotion. And once you feel that emotion and realize that you can have a new way of being, that's where the integration takes place. So I hope that helps you understand why you might not be able to make the changes in your life that you want to. And if you have any questions or if you need support, please reach out. I would love to talk to you. And please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. And I look forward to sharing more with you. And I hope you have a great day.